What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Mike. So, can stress unalive you? Short answer, yes. How did this whole thing come about? So, yesterday, crazy busy day, bunch of meetings. That's probably like 4 hours of meetings plus just about one topic. Went to the gym, had a nice gym session. I ended up giving this guy pretty much an hour and a half therapy session yesterday. How did this whole thing come about? We were talking about things, and he was like, hey, yeah, I'm noticing that my knee's been hurting, my hips been hurting, so on and so forth. So again, the therapist in me, it came out. I was like, hey, let's go ahead and try this. How's your stretching? Do you do this? Do you do that? And he's like, I'm not stretching as much as I should because, guys, we don't stretch enough. So like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and figure out what's going on with the stretching, see if we can, work on that. Then we just start talking more and talking more. And it turns out that the issues with his hip and his knee and his ankle potentially could be stress related. Now you're like, Michael, how does it even make sense? How is stress gonna mess up your hip? How is stress gonna mess up your knee? I'll get to that. So, we're talking about that, and then I was just like, hey, we're just start digging in. Legit, we're staying from the Stairmaster for like an hour plus when we went outside. Started talking more. I was like, I'm ready to go. But sometimes people just need to talk and just to get stuff off their chest. So we legit I was planning on going leaving 8 o'clock last night. I didn't get home until 10. I didn't eat dinner until 11 o'clock last night. It was a long, busy day. But we were just talking. He was just talking about how his living situation, his money situation, and everything like that. And I was putting, 2 and 2 together. And I'm just like, bro, what kind of stress management techniques do you have? And he was like, well, I'm trying this. And I'm just like, bro, you're stressed out. You are stressed out. And what I was telling him is that because you're stressed out, because he wasn't sleeping properly also. And this is coming from someone who doesn't get lost sleep, because I got a busy schedule. But just talking about different things, it was like you're not sleeping properly, so you're not recovering from the gym properly. And if you're not recovering from the gym properly, then your hips, your ankles, all your muscles are going to be tired. So your one of your stress relievers or one of your getaways is going to the gym, but you're putting your body under a lot of physical stress. So physical stress plus mental stress and not being able to recover, it's just make it harder. And he's on a weight loss journey too. And if you can't recover properly, you ain't gonna lose weight. And one of the things his doctor was telling me, he said you can work out until the cows come home. If you don't work on your nutrition, it don't matter. How is all this stuff related? So I want to give you guys an example. So this is your heart. A stress level heart. So your heart's pumping. Cortisol is one of the stress hormones. It just stress can be a good or bad thing. It depends on the levels, how you interact with stress, what do you do with it. But whenever you're stressed, you kind of go into a fight or flight mode, and everything just starts. Muscles get tense. Everything just starts going. Things just start going. But you see how much the heart is pumping, but it's not pumping. It's not relaxing. It's just fluttering. Not a good thing for your heart. It's just fluttering. So the more stressed you are, it just does this. Your heart rate goes up. Your blood pressure goes up. Your heart doesn't have a chance to recover. Bad issues. There's AFib and all this other stuff that can happen because your heart is just not recovering. Your muscles are recovering. Your muscles are hard. So when you have all these hormones, because again, you need your hormones. You need the stress hormones. You need the cortisol and all this other stuff. It just depends on how it's utilized in the body. Again, cortisol, it can affect, stress can affect how you sleep. It can affect your metabolism. It can affect your hormones. And I'll just give you a roundabout example of how everything happened. So, again, he's talking about he's in pain. And how related to stress is stressful living situation. So he's always hyper aware. So he's not getting proper sleep. If you're not getting proper sleep, you're not resting, you're not relaxing. Your body doesn't have a chance to recover. It's pretty much like being in a war zone and you got bullets flying around you, like bang, 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 bang. And so I was like, oh yeah, go ahead and take a nap. How am I gonna take a nap whenever there's bullets flying around me? I don't know what's good, if something's gonna hit me, if I'm gonna be in the wrong place, wrong time. How is this gonna work? Same thing. So you're always hyper aware. Your brain does not shut off. Your heart doesn't shut off. Your heart rate actually increases, while you're stressed out. Because it's like whenever you're stressed out, you start hyperventilating. You're like, oh, this is it. Your heart starts going. Everything just starts going up, up, and up. So whenever everything's up, whenever you're hyper vigilant, your body can't relax. If your body can't relax, you're not going to recover. There's no way that you're going to recover properly. So I was telling him, I was like, hey, yeah, we want you to relax. We want you to eat properly. Because again, calories in, calories out. And there are certain foods that you can do to kind of like help with your blood pressure and all this other kind of stuff. But you gotta find a way to relax, bro. I literally told him, I was like, you gotta find a way to relax. Now, there are different levels of severity that you need. And I recommend all levels. Just depends on where you're at. You may not need as a severe level, compared to the other person. First thing I say is just figure out where you're at. Like, okay, just being alert of your stress. Like, what's causing me stress? Is it work situation? Is it finances? Is it my fitness? Is it family? Is it what's causing your stress? So just being aware of what's causing your stress, I'll say that's the first thing. If we can realize where the issue is, then we can deal with the issue. So, okay, we deal with the issue. Okay, what do you need to do? Do I need to prepare myself before I go into a stressful environment? Do I need to do some kind of meditation? Do I need to listen to something relaxing just to get my heart rate down? And what I told him, straight up, because I told this to everybody, whether it's with pain, whether it's with stress management, whether it's trying to recover from exercise. Now, let's say if your stress is on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is like you're in the Bahamas, you're chilling, the sun's nice, dolphins jumping up. It's chill. Life is bliss. Life is amazing. That's a 0 or a 1. A 10 is like, you're in the middle of a war zone trying to unarm a bomb, and then you got someone at your head with a pew pew. That's a 10. We don't want anything near a 10. If you're already heightened, if you're at a 9, it's so easy to get to that 10, unfortunately. However, we can get you from a 9 to an 8, or from a 9 to an 8 to a 7 or a 6. It's going to take you a lot longer to get from that 6 to that 10 compared to if you're a 9 getting you to that 10. Does that make sense? So even if we can't get you from a 9 to a 1, if we can get you from a 9 to an 8, that's progress. So we don't have to take giant steps. Small micro steps, they count. They help with the stress management techniques. So realizing where your stress is coming from, that's the first thing I'll say. What kind of stress management techniques do we have to mitigate your stress? Whether it's we do the thing that's going to be the less involved first. Anything that's going to be the easiest thing, we do the easiest things before we go into the real extensive stuff. You know what I mean? So that, okay, I want to take some time and just be in silence, just let my brain relax. I told him, I was like, hey, whenever you get out the gym, sit in your car for a minute, 60 seconds. Don't turn on the car, don't turn on the radio. You need to put your phone on silent. Do whatever you gotta do. Sit in silence for 60 seconds. Again, 60 seconds is just an arbitrary number. It doesn't seem long, but it's a very long time. Try it. I want you to just sit in silence for 60 seconds and see how it feels. It's kind of weird. Again, I understand people, parents, spouses, things like that. Sometimes it's not, you can't do it because I understand. I'm a realist. Like, life happens. But try to sit in relative, wherever you can find silence, sit in silence for 30 seconds, 60 seconds. So I told him, I'm like, hey, get in the car, sit in silence for 60 seconds. Drive home, and before you get the car, because you're going to a war zone, sit in silence for another 60 seconds, just to prepare yourself. And the reason why I told him is that the living situation is at a 10, and he was already at an 8. So hey, your living situation's right here. You're right here. So get into your car and sit in silence for 60 seconds so he can get you to a 7 or a 6. Go ahead and drive, but that as soon as you're getting closer home, your stress is gonna come up a little bit. It's gonna come up because what's gonna happen when you get home. When you pull into the driveway, again, sit in silence for another 60 seconds. let your stress come down a little bit. It may not go from an 8 to a 6, but it can go from an 8 to a 7. I prefer that 7 over that 8 any day of the week. Because again, our goal is not to get to here, it's to get this even here. See my eye is? See from here to here? We count that. Our goal is to get from here to here. We can get that, that's beautiful. But we get from here to here, we take that win. So like, sit in silence for 60 seconds. These small things that you can do, they're not gonna affect your pocket. They're not gonna go off any pills. You ain't gotta see nobody. Nothing like that. You can do that anytime, anywhere, day or night. Just sit in silence for a little bit. Very first level. Second level, see a health coach or anxiety and depression coach. They have all these different stress management companies. Like they have like different therapists. Like they have like BetterHelp, and they have like the Calm apps, and they have one of my companies is called Rethink. All these different things for like meditation apps. They help. Some people are like, oh, this is weird. Try it out. Try it out. See if it works. If it doesn't work for you, hey, if it does, you try it. Now, I'm not gonna say that it's gonna work all the time at the exact moment. It may take a little bit to kind of get used to it and be like, okay, and to kind of give it a shot. It may take a second. So try it out, give it some time, see if it works. Try these different things. Speak to like if your company has what's called an employee assistance program, sometimes short enough for EAP. Check with your company's EAP. See if they have a therapist, because sometimes they'll have like through your EAP program, you can see a therapist for like 5, 6, 7 sessions for free. Free is from me. And we had to go to that step. Now, whether you get an understanding of something for free, then you gotta pay for it. So again, free is for me. So you gotta go through your company's EAP to get a therapist. Go through your company's EAP to get a therapist. And they got BetterHelp, they got the Calm app, all these different things to try out. Try them out. If you're not sure, because they also have race specific things. Because being in healthcare, we know whenever someone looks like you, they understand things that you're going through a little deeper than someone who doesn't look like you. You might say I'm being biased or anything like that. It's just the name of the game. I can speak to you the way I can speak to you. I don't have to sugarcoat things, because there are times again, straight up, if I am talking to a coworker that looks like me, whether it's race, whether it's gender, whether it's age, I can talk to that person, on a more relatable level than someone who doesn't look like me, age-wise, race-wise, gender-wise, or otherwise. The more commonalities that you have with somebody, the more you can open up and actually express what's going on, and the person will understand so they can help you out. Because if you don't understand what someone's going through, then it's going to make it much harder to help people out. But the more commonalities you have with somebody, the easier it's like, oh, okay, I got you. Let's go ahead and try this, and this. Because again, those commonalities makes people open up easier. And guys, straight up, we don't open up. We do not talk about our feelings. We're not taught how to talk about our feelings from a young age. And particularly from a minority community, again, I got island blood. That's not something that we do often. So it's hard. We don't see enough healthcare providers. No, straight up. Guys or people with island blood, we don't do what we gotta do. We just go and keep going. That's how we're taught. So we ignore these different signs. So try out some of these different gender specific, race specific. If that appeals to you, try them out. See if they work. Again, that's the next level. If we have to go that extra level, go to your primary care physician. I don't care. First of all, just go to your just see your doctor. First of all, just see your doctor. Get them checkups. But go to your primary care physician and be like, hey doc, this is what's going on. I know something's wrong. I'm not sure what it is, but something's just not right. See your primary care physician. They may refer you to a psychiatrist or a psychologist to get your mind checked out. The way I see it is that if our car is having issues, if we hear something from our car, if a light in our car goes off, there's a smell in our car, we're going to mechanic ASAP, like, hey, get that taken care of. While we're taking care of our cars, while we're taking care of our mind. Because if we ain't got this don't matter. Like, straight up, You gotta take care of yourself, people. You gotta make sure that your mind is right. Because your mind ain't right, nothing else matters. You have a broken leg, you can still make $1 million. But if your mind ain't right, you can be spending $1 million. And there are people in the hospital, that's because hospital stays and all sorts of, the mental health issue is real. So go see your PCP and be like, hey doc, this is what's going on. I'm noticing this, this, and this, or something is just not right. I'm not sure what it is. If you have to go that route to see a psychiatrist or psychologist just to speak to somebody, go that route. Again, I'm no medical doctor, so I can't say, oh yeah, this, and this. But go that route just in case if something is a little bit more severe. If they need to prescribe you something that's going to help calm you down, they'll do what they want to do, what they have to do. We want to be as minimally invasive as we possibly can. That's why I'm saying go these routes, because the routes that I'm talking about, they're as minimally invasive towards your pockets, towards your time, and towards your body. Because again, what is more invasive, breathing or taking a pill? Now, again, I'm not anti-pill. If you gotta take a pill to get things taken care of, you gotta do what you gotta do. But be as minimally invasive as you possibly can to make sure we're getting you where we need to get you. All right. So if you need to see your doctor, see your doctor. Like, hey doc, this is what's going on. Again, those are usually steps. And again, from psychiatrist, psychologist standpoint, they can take you to those next steps. That is way beyond my scope of practice. I'm the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to mental health, to be honest. Like, I work with some anxiety and depression coaches. I can give very basic information around anxiety and depression, but I don't have a psychology degree. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. So this is just general advice from a health and wellness coach and someone who likes work in the gym and someone who's gone through their own mental health struggles. See somebody. Now, another thing that we were talking about is, just being like hyper, like how everything is connected. Because again, cortisol is a hormone, and if your cortisol is high, you're gonna have a hard time sleeping, which means you cannot recover from different things. The gym is a great place to release your stress, but if you can't recover, then you're just beating yourself down, beating yourself down. And again, I'm a huge proponent of the gym. I don't think there'll ever be a time you don't hear me say go to the gym, unless you got every bone in your body broken. I'm like, hey, go to the gym, work around it. But you gotta take care of yourself. So go to the gym, but make sure you're finding some way to take care of yourself. Again, this guy, stress will make these nice, strong pumps flutter. Stress will unalive you. If it's severe enough, stress can unalive you. We want to make sure we're taking care of this guy. Make sure we're taking care of this guy. Because if this guy goes out, it don't matter how big my biceps are. My biceps ain't that bad. But it doesn't matter how big my biceps are if this guy ain't taken care of. It doesn't matter how big my quad sweep is if this is off. You know what I mean? So you gotta make sure you take care of this guy and this guy, so everything else can do what it gotta do. Okay? Another thing that he was talking about is financial issues. And again, finances is a big cause of stress. I think it's like one of the leading causes of divorce in the country. So we gotta take care of your finances too. But order of operations, what is the most important? They're both important, but what can we put? So they're both one. What is 1A and what's 1B? Stress is 1A. So we can work on both at the same time. However, we're gonna put a little bit more effort towards one than the other. So I was like, hey, try these basic stress management techniques out. And what I want you to do in regards to your finances is to write what your debts are. If you're able to understand where the issue is, you can figure it out. You can figure out what's going on. You can track things a little easier if you know what the issue is. If you don't know what the issue is, you can't track nothing. So I was like, right, like what are your debts? List them out, smallest to largest. Like I talked about in a previous video, they have the debt snowball method, the debt avalanche method. What worked best for him in his situation is the debt snowball method, and that works very well for a lot of people. Is the debt snowball method, because he just needs a win. Homeboy just needs a win, and I'm praying for my boy. He just needs a win. So I was like, while we're working on our mental health to make sure this is right, let's find a way to get your finances better so you can move up the current situation that you're in. Because the current situation that you're in is super toxic. We gotta get you out of there ASAP. But we gotta make sure our finances are in a proper order, that once we get you out of there, you ain't gotta go back and you ain't on the street. So, mental health first, and then slowly, like in this chart, your finances, where that's at, so we can get that taken care of. He's like, okay, that makes sense. So, long story short, can stress unalive you? Yes, it can. If it's not taken care of, it's not mitigated, stress can unalive you. Stress can stop weight loss. Stress can add weight. Stress can cause heart attacks, strokes, all these different things. Stress can affect your hormones, because stress is a hormone. And if you're not sleeping, your hormone production can be off. If you're not eating properly, your hormone production can be off. And again, stress affects how you eat. Some people eat too much when they're stressed. Some people don't eat enough when they're stressed out. Some people eat the wrong things when you're stressed out. You know, it's like, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm just eat some chips and this and this and this and this. We need fats, but too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And no, too many potato chips is gonna be a bad thing compared to eating these good healthy fats. And we need healthy fats for our hormones. People are like, oh yeah, go fat free. I am not a proponent of that. Now, I'm no nutritionist. I'm no dietitian. However, I do have some sports training. I do have some sports nutrition training, so on and so forth. Watch the types of fats that you're eating, but we need fats for our hormones, for our hormone production, to make sure that's, again, we need good fats for that. Our omega-3s, our avocados, stuff like that. And that's going to give us these good healthy fats for us. But stress can affect what we eat, how much we eat. Stress can affect how much we're sleeping, so our hormone production can be off. And again, his hormone production was off because he did see his doc a while ago, and then doc was like, yeah, your hormones are in the trash. Like, if your hormone's supposed to be right here, homeboy is like under the table. He's like, bro, yeah, you're taken care of. So stress can affect our hormone production too. Things that you don't think stress can affect it. So again, stress can affect our heart. Stress can affect our sleep. So our heart, our sleep, our money, our mental, obviously, our blood pressure. It can probably cause an indirect correlation to our blood sugar. And we know what happens when our blood sugar is off. Diabetes, all this stuff, mess up our veins, your foot go bye-bye, all these different things. Stress can affect our emotional balance, how much we're able to handle the different emotional loads that we can handle. Stress can affect our judgment. Stress can affect so many different things. So take care of your stress, people. Take care of your heart. Take care of your mind. Because we've seen people, again, we're on the internet. We know what happens. People crash out. If y'all have never been in a hospital, see what happens whenever someone's heart goes out. Whenever someone's testosterone or their hormones are all out of whack. See what happens. It ain't a good look. So, there's nothing else that you took from this video. No, with my scruffy behind looking beard, there's nothing else that you took from this video. Reduce your stress as much as you can. Recognize your stress and find a way to manage it. Because stress will unalive you. But that's what I got for y'all. Until next time, deuces.